Team Fortress 2 originally released all the way back in 2007, and since then has received hundreds of updates introducing thousands of individual items and mechanics to the game. So it's no surprise really that sometimes something goes wrong. Glitched items in TF2 range from items that have got impossible qualities, such as unique quality weapons that can count kills, all the way up to weapons that can actually have paint applied to them, or even players obtaining weapons that shouldn't even exist. So let's take a look at some of TF2's most bizarre glitches and also try our best to understand just what exactly caused them to happen. A lot of TF2's item glitches come in the form of incorrect or impossible meta information that usually doesn't affect the item in any functional way other than how it appears when looked at in the backpack. For example, the item's level or its quality. If you're not sure what I mean by quality, you can check out this video I made recently linked on screen and in the description. But for the sake of simplicity, quality is typically represented by the color of the item's name. For example, there was a glitch that created a number of unique quality strange weapons. In other words, kill counting weapons which aren't technically strange, such as this unique strange Durati that's owned by Shawk, as well as a few hundred other weapons that were affected by this glitch. There are also some now highly valuable glitched vintage promo items that are supposed to be unique quality, such as vintage Bills hats, vintage earbuds, and vintage gibbuses. And there's even several non-cosmetic items, such as vintage metals and even class tokens. Sometimes a meta glitch does have a functional impact on an item, such as whether that item is tradable or not. For instance, the unusual haunted scrap metal is an item that is intentionally non-tradable, as the plan is for players to only be able to obtain one out of the 6 items it can be used to craft since its release. However, there exists glitched, tradable versions of these items, thus allowing people to collect 2, 3, or even all of these otherwise restricted items. And whilst there have been many more glitches of this nature, the last one I want to mention in this video is the normal quality, level 0, tradable bat. The bat is Scout's stock melee weapon, and normal quality stock items shouldn't even be visible in the backpack without ticking this box. And not only is level 0 not a level that items can have under normal circumstances, but stock items are locked to being level 1. And, of course, stock weapons are never tradable. So altogether, this is a truly bizarre thing to exist. Whilst what caused this glitch to actually happen is uncertain, it appears to be the default of all defaults, with bat being the first stock weapon alphabetically, and the first one in the item schema file, which we'll look at later, 0 being the lowest possible level, normal being the base quality for items and also the first one in the item schema file, and tradable being the default over untradable. It seems that the game or item servers were trying to generate an item, and for some reason couldn't decide what attributes to give the item, so it just ended up as default for everything. There's only believed to be around 5 of these in existence, suggesting a very short window where this glitch occurred. So even though the cause of the bats is a bit of a mystery, we do know the causes of most of the other meta glitches. There are 2 main culprits. 1. During one of TF2's many major content updates, a new item or feature was released in a broken state, or it did something which broke existing items. Normally, a bug like this is fixed shortly after release, usually within a day, so no more glitched items are ever generated. But any glitched items that were already created and exist in players' backpacks are never deleted. For example, this is the case of the unique weapons that count kills that we talked about earlier. Common cause number 2, believe it or not, is Steam's own customer support team, who, when asked to restore an item that somebody accidentally deleted, restored the item with the wrong quality. This is believed to be the cause of the vintage Bills hats and other incorrectly vintage items. But be warned, Steam support these days are very aware of people purposely deleting their items in the hope of getting an incorrect quality item in return. So chances are if you try this today, your only reward will just be a shiny new empty backpack slot. One very interesting instance of the something broken for a short time after an update kind of glitch was when it was possible to obtain blank or universal killstreak kits. Killstreak kits are an item that can be applied to a weapon and make that weapon count killstreaks. But importantly, each killstreak kit can only be applied to a specific weapon. For example, the backburner killstreak kit can only be applied to a backburner, and so on. The glitched blank killstreak kits could be applied to anything. Sure, people could use this to killstreak a fire weapon that they didn't have a kit for, but they could also apply it to cosmetics and even tool items like keys or crates. Of course, there's no way for these items to get kills and therefore increase their killstreak count. But there is at least one cosmetic item that does show the killstreak sheen when worn: the Batter's Helm. Specifically the cans on either side. And that's because the bonk cans attached to the cosmetic actually use the files of the bonk atomic punch weapon model. Shout out to Lara Otter for sharing some of these glitched item facts with me, and that last one especially. One of the most famous glitches in all of TF2's history is the painted Cow Mangler. And this was another case of Valve done goofed when releasing an update. Around the time of the Maniversary update in 2011, the Cow Mangler was somehow accidentally changed so that the "can this item be painted by team colored paints" attribute was set to yes. As a result, people started painting their Cow Manglers before Valve ultimately patched the glitch less than 24 hours later. Originally, this paint even affected the Cow Mangler projectile. However, that did eventually stop being the case when the projectile effects got updated. However, the team-coloured parts of the Cow Mangler are still, to this day, different on the painted versions compared to normal. Because it's only team-coloured paints that were ever applicable to the weapon, the differences aren't always that obvious, but they are very much there, making this a particularly cool glitched item to behold. The item schema, or items_game.txt, is a text file in everybody's TF2 installation folder that tells the game important information about how every item should function in certain ways. For example, is the item a stock item or not? Can the item open cases or not? Can the item be used to rename other items? And so on. Now, obviously, Valve have got security in place to stop this file being edited and allowing players to do crazy things with their game. Except, of course, when they didn't. One of the lines in this file tells the game whether a specific item is a stock item or not, i.e. one of the default items that everybody has. And this is important because there's a unique trait to stock items, whereby applying a name tag to one awards the players with a whole brand new copy of that item, because stock items aren't otherwise visible in your backpack like regular items. When you combine these two facts together with an editable item schema file, players discovered that it was possible to edit the file and make the game believe any item of your choosing is a stock item, for example, a Max's severed head. This would make the item appear in your backpack when you tick this box, even if you didn't have one anywhere else in your backpack. You could then simply use a name tag on this fake stock Max's severed head, and boom, you now have a real Max's severed head for nothing more than the cost of a name tag. But this glitch is particularly interesting because the player who discovered it didn't just do this with an expensive promo item, but they did it with an item that no one has ever owned before: the Deflector. This weapon is actually a weapon that's only used by bots in the man vs machine mode. But because the item has an entry in the item schema file, this glitch could be used to easily put the item in your backpack. Thus, the first and only ever player-owned Deflector was created. Now, this glitch would more accurately be described as an exploit, and there's very easily a whole other video to be made about TF2's history of exploits. But I figured if I made a video about glitched items and didn't mention the Deflector, my comment section would be a bloodbath. And of course, Valve has since fixed the trickery that made this possible, and item schema exploits no longer exist. Unless, of course, another one is found. In all my time playing TF2 and all my time researching this video, the next item is undoubtedly the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in this game. The Team Fortress 2 upgrade to Premium. What? So obviously, this item's picture is just a blank white square. Its listed item type is map stamp, it's specified as non-craftable, which is typically only something that appears on items that can sometimes be craftable, such as weapons or cosmetics, it's got no item description, and its name isn't even correct, assuming of course that it's meant to be an upgrade to premium gift, which is a real item in the game. Again, I say, what? Whilst I was able to find many threads around the internet discussing this item, no one seems to know where it came from. Based on the alarming number of things that just don't add up, my personal guess would be that it's either yet another item schema glitch that was never widely publicized, Or this item is some sort of testing item created by an actual Valve employee, and it was never meant to make its way into regular players' backpacks, but somehow did. With hundreds of glitches across thousands of items, there's no way I could concisely cover them all in this video. But I'd still love to hear about what glitched items you've seen in game, and I'd especially love to hear about those that we didn't talk about today. And of course, the weirder the better. For more TF trivia, check out this video all about TF2's illustrious history of Scream Fortress updates, or this video that the magic algorithm thinks that you'll like. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to be notified when the next video releases. Thanks, and have fun!